CATV is proudly presented by Toyota.
I was just going to say congratulations, Mark, you got past 24.
Thanks, man. About time.
In all the circumstances, you got more than yesterday and better on 161 not out. How does that fit into your career in terms of performance?
It's obviously very satisfying. There's no doubt about it to contribute in this series. Make some runs, like you say. I was overdue, so that's nice. But you know, any time you make 100 for Australia, it's, you know, I've never had a bad one. I've enjoyed every single one of them. So, you know, that was no different. It was obviously, you know, some tough stages there yesterday. I thought Morne Morkel bowled a couple of pretty quick spells and had a set plan to go around the wicket and try and attack the emblem on my helmet. And yeah, the wicket was a little bit inconsistent, so it wasn't easy to consistently duck or consistently stand up and hook and pull. So that was you know, quite difficult at the time, but it was nice to get through. And most importantly, I think we've had 1.5 days of Test cricket and we're 494 runs we got on the board. So I'm extremely pleased with the position we're in.
Mike, have you ever been all hurt batting in a Test match?
I've been hit plenty of times through my career. Maybe not as many times in one spell, but that's the way it goes. You know, that's part and parcel of the game. Like I say, when you've got a wicket that isn't consistent with bounce, it's hard to read. And yeah, the most pleasing thing was I was able to get through it and continue to bat on, which is nice.
Does that focus your mind? Does that remove distractions and consciousness of skills and things like that?
Makes no difference to me now. I said at the start of the series I felt like I was hitting the ball well. I felt like my feet were moving well. I just hadn't put a score on the board. So it's nice to have Mal off my back for a game or so. But yeah, look, there's no doubt. I've said through my whole career, when you're not scoring runs, there's going to be criticism, and rightly so. You know, I haven't scored a 50 for 11 innings. So yeah, it's nice to have a result for that reason, but I felt like I was hitting the ball well throughout the whole series.
Michael, just looking at the conditions and stuff and the inconsistency that you're talking about, just looking ahead to when you guys are going to bowl on that, do you think that is going to help your bowlers in the remaining days of the Test match?
I hope so. Hopefully it continues to deteriorate and it gets a little bit more up and down. I think if there's sunshine, I think naturally that happens with pitches all around the world, and we've seen that in Port Elizabeth. It was a pretty tough day today for bowlers. It was such a heavy breeze, so it was certainly much tougher bowling at one end. But we're going to have to bowl well, there's no doubt about it. It's still a very good batting wicket. So yeah, we're going to have to execute, hang on to our chances and make sure we do everything right to try and take 20 wickets on that pitch.
Dan. Michael, a couple of questions. First one, the 150 you got here in 2011, I think you've spoken about it being, in terms of that situation of that innings, one of your best ones, but also one of your least relevant or most meaningless innings.
Yeah.
Nice now to make 100 here and be in a position where you can make it meaningful, I suppose.
Well, I hope so. Probably a better question asked at the end of this game, because if we don't get the result we're after, then it'll sit alongside the other 150. So, like I say, I will never ever take for granted making 100 for Australia. Like I say, I've never scored an easy 100. It's always been tough, and especially against a very good attack. So, you know, I think all the boys that have walked out there and performed well in such an important Test match for this team deserve a lot of credit. I thought Davey Warner was outstanding yesterday. Steve Smith yesterday and today showed his class, played with great fluency and struck the ball really well throughout his whole innings. Watto's intent. You know, even Chris and Alex did a fantastic job for us yesterday. So I think the whole team deserves a lot of credit for our attitude and our hunger that we've shown so far in this game. But we've got 3 extremely tough days ahead of us in regards to giving ourselves every chance to try and win this Test match.
Just on the being on 99 for I think it was 24 balls, you were essentially just waiting for one in your zone?
It didn't really bother me, to be honest. Our goal today was to try and bat exactly like we did yesterday up until lunch, and then assess where the game was at. So it wasn't about my runs personally. It was making sure I was seeing that new ball off and doing the job for the team. And again, fortunately, I was able to get through that period.
Michael, how much do you think left with the
Well, anytime the #1 bowler in the world can't walk out and bowl, I think any opposition will miss that. There's no doubt about it. Well, they're short of bowler, so I'll say it. Of course, it made it easier for us. He's a class bowler. You've seen how well he executed in Port Elizabeth, and it's certainly a big hole. But you don't wish injury on any player. I think, especially if you've played a lot of Test cricket, you go through injury yourself, and you know that it's not a nice thing. So hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know the result of even why he walked off the field. I'm not sure of what happened there, but hopefully he's okay.
Well, were there any dizzy spells yesterday, or something where the doc said one more hit to the head and then calling it off?
No. Don't even think about it. I felt 100% fine. Take your pick.
Sorry, can I just say, in terms of the range, did it impact the way you batted as a team today, particularly that second session?
No, not at all. I was standing up the other end thinking, did I say something out loud when I was in the change room at lunch? But our plan after lunch was just to go and continue to bat how we seen fit. Obviously, you've got guys, Watto, Hads, that are extremely aggressive players, so they're always going to play with intent. And that's the way they felt was the best way to go about it. So, it pushed the scoreboard along for us and got us to the position we're in, but nothing was said at lunchtime. It was more about, let's just take it hour at a time and assess where we're at and see how many runs we got, and we'll make a plan from there.
Michael, Steve Smith's just ticked over 1,000 runs since he's been back in the team for almost a year. Over that time, how much do you think he's developed and matured?
I think he's playing very well at the moment. I think his game's certainly improved. His shot selection's improved, and he's probably a lot more patient at the start of his innings now than what he was when he first came into the team. But he's been given an opportunity, a second opportunity. He's grabbed it with both hands, so that's probably what's been most impressive. He's come back into the Test team and tried to grab his opportunity with both hands, and it's nice to see him making runs, that's for sure.
Michael, given the rain, you lost half a day basically on championship in the gut. Does that, given you like to keep games moving forward, given it's a pretty flat deck,
I'll assess in the morning. I want to see what the weather's like more than anything else in the morning. I think the advantage now is we start at 10 o'clock every day, so we'll still get some overs back. The forecast is pretty good for the next 3 days. I'll wait and see tomorrow. I don't think, if I say I'm going to keep batting or I'm going to declare, I could be lying to you. So I'd rather wait till the morning and see what the weather's like. I'll have a good chat to Buff tonight, see what he thinks as well, and we'll make a plan. But obviously, our goal is to win this Test match. There's no doubt about it. So if it means batting for some time and getting as many runs as we can, if we think that's the best way for us to win the game, we do that. If we think declaring overnight is the best way, then it doesn't bother me at all. It's about whatever we think's best to help us win this game.
So is it a balance of time compared to, it's obviously going to be easier to bat now than it can be if you have to bat the second time?
Well, we're hoping so. We hope that the wicket's going to deteriorate, like I say, and there'll be more up and down, hopefully some reverse swing and a little bit of spin as the game goes on. So, you've probably got to sum up, runs now in your first innings versus how tough they're going to be in your second innings, how much time's left in the game, what the weather's like. There's a few things you have to consider, but the most important thing you have to consider is how you're going to win, how you're going to take 20 wickets to win this game.
Last question, Andrew Ramsey.
Michael, Warney said last night that you were covered in ice packs, and I noticed that you had the arm guard going out there today. You don't normally wear one of those. Was there any other sort of medical miracles that got you out there this morning? Or was...
Plenty of treatment, plenty of ice, and I'm fortunate, I guess, to have such a great physio and team doctor to help me out. So, it was a long night, probably a longer morning, to be honest. But I'm in great hands. I've had great treatment and been looked after like gold. So, but I do mean that without the help of Alex and the doc, no way would I got on the park today.